Hello, everybody. I wanted to create a video for you to help you understand project number 2. Project number 1, you wrote your own fictional narrative or you diagrammed the plot of your own short story. For project 2, you're writing a literary analysis. Okay? Now, this starts in Unit 4, Lesson 17. And a literary analysis, it's simply an essay that you write to explore or interpret a story or a couple of different stories, okay? And I do expect you to read all this about lit analysis, but note that in order to be ready for this project, you want to make sure that you've read The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe and The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, because what you're going to do is compare both of those main characters. Okay, I just want to show you where in the course where you start seeing information about this assignment. Okay, but here's your roadmap. Excuse me. Okay, there are 6 parts to this. Notice if I scroll down, you'll see 6 different parts, and I want to go through all 6 parts with you because this starts in Unit 4, but you turn it in much later. Okay, so part 1, you need to write your thesis statement. Okay, so think about the 2 main characters in each of your stories, The Telltale Heart and The Yellow Wallpaper. Go back and read them again. What claim do you want to make about these 2 main characters? So some things to consider, and this claim can be anything that you can prove using the stories. So things to consider would be what makes them similar. Do they both teach the same lesson to their readers? Are the characters mirrors of one another, or are they maybe extreme opposites? Is one character more believable than the other? And this list could go on and on and on. This is just to help you generate some ideas. Okay, so part 1, you want to come up with a thesis statement. And I included 2 examples just to give you a little guidance, okay? So for example, yours could be something similar to The Main Character in the Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman is just as crazy as the lead character in Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. The claim is that both main characters are equally crazy. Here's another example. The main characters in Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper and Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart are eerily similar. So the claim is they are both creepy and similar, eerily similar. Okay, so these are just ideas. So your job for part 1 is to read the stories again and decide what claim you're making for both of those main characters. That's how you get your thesis statement. Okay, and to help you brainstorm, I've included a thinking map for you. Okay, remember your thesis is always at the top, and this is your introduction. Okay, in your introductory paragraph, you always want to get your reader's attention. Give your reader some background information. This is where you would summarize each story and then state your claim. Whatever you are proving about those main characters, that is your claim. Okay, and then your body paragraphs will be supporting reason number 1 with evidence from the stories, reason number 2 with evidence from the story, reason number 3 with evidence from the story. And this is how you get your 3 body paragraphs. Notice here's a little more guidance for you. In your body paragraphs, you need to state your reason, bring evidence from the stories, but after you bring in that evidence from the stories, you want to also explain how that evidence proves your thesis. That is a key part that a lot of students miss. Don't only refer to the stories, but explain, make that connection for your reader. Never assume your reader can make that connection for him or herself. And if you don't ever assume that, then you will always be explaining yourself sufficiently. Okay, and then your conclusion, right here, you want to answer the so what question. So yes, restate your thesis. And in order to answer the so what question, this is where you encourage your reader to do or maybe not do something. And this is called a call to action. Okay, and this is something that's changed in colleges for quite some time now. It used to traditionally be you just restate your thesis and your main points and your paper was done. But now you're required to extend your paper beyond your analysis. Okay, so now that I've read about these main characters in your claim for the yellow wallpaper and Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart, what am I supposed to do about it as a reader? Okay. And that's where you get your call to action or you answer the so what question. So if you use a diagram like this, that could just help get all your ideas down on paper. It's essentially mapping your story. Okay, so then part 2, let's talk about this. You'll get to part 2 in lesson 18. This is the next lesson in unit 4. All I'm asking you to do is finalize your thesis statement. You don't have to turn it in, but I will give you extra credit if you send it to me so I can see it and see if you're on the right track, okay? I will add 5% to your final grade on project number 1 or 2. It's your choice if you do that, okay? But you must remind me when you send that to me that you're doing that for extra credit. Okay, so your final thesis statement, you need to have your claim. Make sure that the titles of the stories and authors for both stories are included in your thesis statement. Again, here are 2 examples. They're the exact same 2 I read earlier to you. So that's part 2. Part 3, excuse me. This is where you roadmap it, okay? So I gave you a bubble chart earlier. This is one way to map out your essay, your literary analysis. Another way is using a sandwich diagram, okay? So you're just creating an outline, a map of your paper. Okay, some students really like the sandwich diagram because it reminds them intro, body paragraph, body paragraph, body paragraph, conclusion. For some people, this visual just works better than bubbles. Use whatever works better for you. Okay, so map out your story for part 4, lesson 19, or excuse me, unit part 3, unit 4, lesson 19. And this is just asking you to write your rough draft, okay? By the time you get to unit 4, lesson 20, and unit 5, lesson 21, okay, no, yeah. Okay, this is where you want to make sure you have all parts of your essay. You have all 5 paragraphs, okay? And it's extended into a couple different lessons. Notice lesson 20, lesson 21, okay? So it's really not until, so you have a lot of opportunity and time to work on this. So, excuse me, it's not until lesson 22 in unit 5, and this is part 5 of your project. This is when you've written your literary analysis, you've had a little time away from it. Now you go back and you read it out loud to yourself and revise it. You want to fix the mistakes you hear or see. You want to make sure your evidence is from the stories. You want to make sure that you explain how your evidence proves your point or your thesis statement. Is your paper logical? Does it flow easily? Is it easy to read? If it's not, fix it so it is. Okay, and this is just proofreading your own work. That way, when you get to part 6, which is unit 5, lesson 23, you're ready to submit the final draft of your literary analysis. And I am asking you to submit this as a Google Doc if at all possible, because this will allow me to give you some more detailed feedback about your work. And I think if you're taking all this time and effort to write a good literary analysis, I want to do more than just issue you a grade and check boxes in a rubric. I want to show you your strengths and the weaknesses maybe of your writing so I can help further you in your writing. I hope this has helped. I would love a hang up message letting me know what was helpful so I can keep doing what's working and stop doing what's not. Hope you have a great evening, and I look forward to reading your amazing literary analysis papers.